Hey everybody, this is Beat, and this is Injustice 2 Online Episode 4, is it? Oh man, I've already gotten to 4. Wow, that's quick. We're going to start off with a little bit of Black Canary action. We talked a little bit about Black Canary. I really feel like this match can really be in Wonder Woman's favor in the neutral. Black Canary is one of those characters that once she touches you though, she can very easily start steamrolling you and put you in some really crazy positions. Luckily, she's actually punishable on some stuff, which makes it a heck of a lot. It feels a little bit more fair actually playing against her because she's got some dirt that she can put you through. That stupid overhead thing can cross up sometimes, so when you do cross it up, you definitely want a punish, and so it's nice when something like that actually works out for you. But this was actually one of the very few games that I've actually gotten an opportunity to use Wonder Woman combos and like actually land them. A lot of times when I actually get the opportunity for a combo, I end up dropping it on the back three, just because it's so rare to actually get the chance that I don't have a lot of practice doing it. So it's very common for me to mess it up. Same thing with corner combos. Yes, I know corner combos, but I use them so rarely. I use combos in general so rarely that when I get the opportunity, it's likely I'm gonna drop it. You know, so that's something. You know, if I do continue to use Wonder Woman, which I feel I'll probably always keep her as at least a secondary once I start moving on and trying out some other characters that hopefully are a little bit more fun to play. Hopefully, you know, once I have her as secondary, I'll be able to, you know, iron out that kind of stuff. But it's not something that you'd really want to bother spending your time on because it just doesn't happen very often. And of course, all of this pressure is not real, folks. Not real. This string is not real. He doesn't have to be in this right now. He really didn't have to be in that. Anyway, I'm going to be having some matches with different characters coming up shortly. I'm just kind of running out through the rest of my Wonder Woman footage at this time. So there's not too much to talk about as far as Wonder Woman goes. I've talked about most of it, and I don't want to, you know, sit here and essentially just cry about, you know, what they did to my sweet baby boo for another video. Instead, I'm going to talk about the characters that I have been tinkering with. You're going to see them a little bit later. Two of the characters that I've been working with are Robin, and I've been getting back into Superman. I already really knew Superman from Injustice 1. He's pretty much the same. There are just a few minor differences. Honestly, mostly with his combo structure, I feel. Just because the scoop isn't there. So you kind of have to work things out a little bit differently. There's a little bit more involved in his combo structure, and that's really the only thing that I've been working on. But the way that he interacts with some of the new characters, I've been having one heck of a hard time fighting Supergirl. Pretty much with any character that I play. She just does everything. And you know, I really like how this game has a little bit more speed to it in the neutral game. You've got characters that actually feel like they have neutral, and Superman used to be one of those characters that would just freely dominate, because he was one of the few characters that had like a really strong practical neutral that didn't rely purely on the speed of dashes and zoning and stuff like that. Because his 4-2-3 was so strong, he could bully very, very effectively. And it feels like he is still that character, but it doesn't work to the same degree. At least it doesn't work with the same ease, I should say. Because the walkback speed in this game is really, really good, a lot of times, you'll sometimes miss. You'll sometimes whiff with 4-2-3, and then you get punished. And that's something Superman never really had to deal with. And I've, you know, fought a few Supergirl players with Superman, and I've noticed that, you know, I feel like I'm in that 4-2 range, and I generally am, or at least I'm right on the verge of it. But because they've got that back walk speed, they're holding back, I press 4, 2, 3, and I whiff. and I'm instantly going, uh-oh. And I'm getting full combo punished. Superman never worried about that before. So it is actually interesting, and I'm kind of thinking about considering playing Superman as a main character, just because he feels just a little bit more focused, you know, like a little bit more, like there's a little bit more required this time around. He's not just bullying for absolute free, you know. There's at least a little bit that he's dealing with, you know, once he gets that pressure on. It's not just, oh, I'm Superman, get ready to block. You know, you still have you actually get to deal with the opponent a little bit more, which is kind of interesting, and I found that to be quite enjoyable. Robin has not been working out all that well, I must admit. I think he's probably just one of those characters that's going to take a crap ton of time and experience. You're gonna have to play the zoning game, the crouch walk game. I'm okay with that as long as it's actually fun when I get in. You know, as long as I actually feel like I have tools. My biggest problem with Wonder Woman when it comes to zoning is not having to play the crouch walk game. I'm totally fine with that. I'm cool with characters having weaknesses. I've always been cool with that. I think that's what makes things interesting, is when you have really clear, definable weaknesses and not just lesser strengths, if that makes sense. Which a lot of times in fighting games right now, it's kind of getting into that place for a long time of, hey, I've got these crazy strengths, and you know, I've got this lesser strength, and eventually having a lesser strength, people start calling that a weakness, and it's really not. I'm totally fine with legitimate weaknesses, but the problem with Wonder Woman is that it's not fun, because as I move in, I still don't have offensive tools, and so it's just like, it's just not entertaining to get in because I still can't really do anything. You know, it's just, I'm not opening anyone up. I'm just kind of letting them open themselves up, you know, and I feel a little bit detached from that. There's not as much of that interaction that I want. But with Robin, I feel like there's potential to get the kind of interaction that I want out of him. I'm just gonna have to spend some time on it. Lots of time. And right now, you know, I may have to reconsider my philosophy with him. I'm gonna have some gameplay of him coming up soon. Also Brainiac, who I think I'll be putting a little bit more time into in the future. My Brainiac's very rough. You're gonna see. I believe I only have one match that I have actually recorded and ready to go at the time of recording this. And it's not the cleanest match in the world. I will freely admit, it's a little bad. But also, to be fair, I was playing against Batman and he was just doing the batarangs the entire time, and so, you know, it's not entirely my fault that it looks so bad and that there's nothing happening. So, you know, I'll just say that it's not all on me. It takes two people to have an ugly match. But overall, with Injustice, I'm really happy with the game. There are a few things I'd like to be toned down, changed a little bit. I'll probably talk more about general game changes that I'd like to see in a future video, because right now I've got my ideas, but I also kind of want to give the game a little bit more time. You know, we always talk about the game when it initially comes out, because we're so excited, and we go through and we say, oh, who are the top tiers, you know, what is this game built on, and all this kind of stuff. Sorry, all this kind of stuff, and we get a little ahead of ourselves sometimes. And so, you know, I do definitely have some clear things that I'd like to be different, but, you know, before I say what I'd like them to be changed to, I would like a little bit more time to really solidify my opinion and make sure that, you know, the things that I say are as accurate as possible. and reflect what I really want from the game, and aren't, you know, just kind of premature gut reactions, I guess. But yeah, this is some Deadshot. You'll probably be seeing quite a bit of Deadshot in the future. I've got a lot of gameplay of them because lots of people love them some Deadshot. Oh, they love them some Deadshot. It's the best. Oh, it's so much effort. So much gosh dang effort to play the character. Wow, such skill. So many reads. Such great decision making. Such effort. Such effort. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.